What's up guys, Mickle here, and we are currently watching a massive shift in the regulatory environment for digital assets in the United States. Now guys, to be completely candid, this was not something I was expecting to see so soon. When I was in XRP Vegas a couple weeks ago, most of the highest profile people when it comes down to cryptocurrency legislation, not even they thought what we're seeing right now is possible. Guys, in this video, I want to break down exactly what's going on, what bills are being introduced this week, and exactly why I think this dramatic shift has happened. Guys, this could be a game changer for ushering in pro-cryptocurrency regulations in the United States to really allow digital assets like XRP that are looking to work with the current system to prosper in the most important financial market in the entire world. Guys, in this video, I want to break down everything you need to know about this, so make sure to stick around for this whole thing. Like always, your support means so much to this channel. Guys, thank you to everyone who takes the time to like the videos and to subscribe to the channel. These two things really do help me out so much. Also, if you ever need a place to buy some XRP, make sure to check out my favorite exchange Uphold down in the description of this video. With that said, though, let's jump right into it, and I hope you guys enjoy the content. So guys, let's jump into exactly what we're seeing because it's shocking and very exciting. So guys, as you probably saw last week, we actually had SAB 121 repealed by the Senate. Now, this is something we are not expecting to see at all because the Democratic Party holds the Senate and they have been very anti-cryptocurrency. We also saw Joe Biden come out and say he was going to veto the repeal anyway, so a lot of the Democrats were likely thinking, hey, I don't want to put my name out there as being against the administration when it's just going to get vetoed regardless. But what we saw anyway was Democrats, even high-profile ones like Chuck Schumer, actually come out to vote to repeal SAB 121. Now guys, this was the first big pro-cryptocurrency movement we have seen from the administration. It was shocking. Now we still have to see whether or not Joe Biden is going to ultimately veto it, but it is a good sign that the veto hasn't come in yet. So guys, right now, it actually looks like we are moving towards a place where we could actually get some beneficial things for cryptocurrencies when it comes to regulations in the United States. Now, repealing SAB 121 would be the first big step because SAB 121 was essentially a way to prevent traditional financial institutions from holding digital assets and interacting in these ecosystems. A lot of people have asked me, hey, Mickle, if XRP isn't a security, why aren't institutions in the United States using it? Well, at the end of the day, the SEC has a bunch of tricks up their sleeve. One of those tricks was SAB 21, and even though XRP has clarity, most of the financial institutions still couldn't interact with digital assets regardless because the SEC made it impossible via SAB 121. Now guys, what we are seeing this week is also extremely exciting. What we are seeing is FIT 21 is also going to be voted on. Now this is only going to be voted on by Congress, but it is a huge step forward. What FIT 21 is essentially a bill to put defined roles on the SEC and CFTC. And as you can imagine, most of the legislators at this point want to give most of the industry to the CFTC. The SEC has done everything in their power to go after good actors and leave bad actors alone. The SEC has done everything in their power to prevent the traditional financial institutions that want to utilize these assets from interacting in this asset class in a responsible way. And instead, the SEC has used their laws and used their power to essentially quasi-outlaw this industry. Because of that, the SEC is really losing a lot of rights to have any regulatory power over this industry, which I think is kind of funny because the SEC has essentially regulated themselves into a place where they've convinced the market and convinced the legislators that they're unfit to regulate. The SEC has lost case after case against good actors and has yet to bring any good cases against bad actors. So this is the first really exciting thing we're seeing. And just to let you guys know, I'm actually going to be streaming this vote live on my YouTube channel, 4:30 Eastern on Wednesday. So make sure you come for that. We are going to be focusing on this big time. Now guys, the other thing we need to talk about is another dramatic shift going on. It looks like the chances that the SEC is going to deny the Ethereum ETF have just dropped massively. In other words, it looks like the chances they're going to approve it have just increased. Analysts behind it are actually saying the chance that the ETF is going to be approved went from 25% to 75%. Now, why is this important? What I believe we're watching is a massive shift in the SEC's posturing towards this industry, and maybe even the entire administration's posturing towards this industry. Now, I can't say for certain if this is a real shift. Right now, we're just going based on rumors here and the fact that Biden hasn't yet vetoed the repeal of SAB 121. We're also going on the fact that a lot of Democrats did vote in favor to repeal SAB 121. So what we're seeing is a lot of rumors and a lot of indications that the administration might be switching big on their policy stance towards cryptocurrency. Why might this be happening? Because that's the most important question. It probably is happening because a lot of the Republicans have come out in support and become pro-cryptocurrency. Now, there's a massive pro-cryptocurrency voting bloc. Tons of people are single-party voters and are going to vote for any politicians who support crypto. Because of this, Republicans have done really the sensible thing, and regardless if they understand crypto or not, just come out and said, okay, I'm pro-crypto, because they know they're going to get the votes. Now, on the other side of that, what Democrats are realizing is following Elizabeth Warren and Joe Biden on this tirade against this industry doesn't garner any votes. What it actually does is make people support the opposite candidate, pushing people who may have supported them before to the other side. Now, many Democrats cannot afford for this to happen, and what the Democrats are slowly losing is there is no anti-crypto army. There is no voting bloc who is voting for politicians purely on an anti-crypto stance. That voter does not exist. It's Elizabeth Warren, it's the big banks, and a couple other people. But there's no voters who are voting anti-crypto. There's only pro-crypto voters. And as we move towards the election, what I believe is happening is the party is capitulating on their anti-crypto stance. They're saying, look, we didn't like crypto, but we're not going to lose an election over this bad policy. So guys, we will know for sure if this is what's happening if Joe Biden actually chooses not to veto SAB 121. But another massive flip in policy would be if the SEC did in fact approve the Ethereum ETF. If this happens, this is all the indication I personally need to see to show that the administration is flip-flopping on their stance. They are going pro-crypto because they do not want to lose an election over it. Now, guys, you might be asking, what's another reason why they might be turning pro-crypto? And that just might be because the system is ready. Guys, I thought this was an excellent clip you needed to hear. What is happening behind the scenes is shocking. Every major bank, every major institution is adopting cryptocurrency on the back end. Now, they don't want you to know about this, right? They're not going to blast it to the headlines because they want to build out their position before you're ready. Cryptocurrencies are one of the few asset classes in history where you can actually get an allocation before the big institutions. So they're not going to tell you, hey, we're building on the XRP ledger, we're building on Quant, we're building here. They're never going to say that. They're going to pretend they're ignoring this industry and allocate their capital behind the scenes. But I wanted to play you this clip because it's really going to show you, right? Maybe the big players are just ready and saying, okay, it's time to put forward the regulation so we can actually adopt this industry. Listen to this.
And this is the punchline of that report. And it's a shock to many people because the press would have you believe, and many of the CEOs of these companies would have you believe that they don't need this new technology. But in practice, they're all deploying it as quickly as they can. And so that starts with Larry Fink and BlackRock at the top of the pile. All of the Chinese banks have now done so as well. And you can look at someone like JP Morgan Chase at number 8 or Goldman Sachs at number 15, where they are talking out both sides of their mouth. So their CIOs and CEOs are saying, we don't need any of this, but their organizations are rolling it out and making it available to their customers. And you have to ask the question, why are they speaking out both sides of their mouth at the same time? Well, the reality is they're very smart strategists. So they know they haven't been ready. Now they are ready, but they also want to hedge their bets. And they have good reasons for doing that, since most of their profits come from outdated products that are not very pro-consumer. And as they digitalize, they will capture less value, but of course their customers will capture more. So ultimately, this is all pro-consumer, even though we're going through a difficult transition from A to B.
So guys, I think that absolutely nails it. The big institutions are adopting this technology at a rapid pace. And I think what people are starting to realize in America specifically is there's no turning back. We are watching a massive upgrade to the financial system, and we absolutely need these technologies. These technologies are going to be critical to keeping America competitive in the next generation financial system. The politicians are realizing you can't be anti-crypto. There's no anti-crypto army. You can only be pro-crypto, you can only support the industry, or else you're going to lose your voters. The big institutions are understanding that they need this technology, and it's time for the politicians to push forth policy to allow them to actually interact in this asset class in an appropriate manner. Guys, is it a coincidence that the week SAB 121 gets repealed, Biden says he's going to veto, doesn't veto, now we have Fit for the 21st Century Act going forward to give regulation to the industry. At the same exact time, we see a lot of other financial institutions starting to roll out real-world products involving DLT technology. To me, right, a lot of this stuff seems kind of coordinated because the same exact people who are funding these politicians are also the people who wanted to put the brakes on the industry to get their products ready in the background, ultimately so they could roll them out in a competitive manner. Guys, to me, it looks like the United States financial system is getting ready for a big catch-up. the quote is always things go slowly and then they move faster than you would ever expect. And that seems to be what's happening. No one expected to have these things voted on this week. And now suddenly they're all getting pushed forward. Now, guys, it's important to point out that this is an optimistic viewpoint on what we're seeing. Biden could still come out, veto SAB 121 repeal, and we could also see a lot of these bills just not go anywhere in the House or Senate, and we could see cryptocurrency regulations pushed off to the next administration. But my guess is that the administration is starting to realize that the anti-crypto stance is going to be a failure when it comes to picking up voters. And it is a lot easier to let this technology in, embrace this technology, or at least not attack it to the degree we have seen, and actually pick up voters in the process. Anti-crypto stance is not working. And I think the big two tells by the administration are, one, going to be if we get Biden's veto, and two, if the SEC approves the Ethereum spot ETF. The SEC approves the Ethereum spot ETF, then Gary Gensler was told to stand down. Gary Gensler was told, you are losing voters for the party. If you don't stop this, we are going to kick you out. Guys, we already talked about a lot of pressure being put on Gary Gensler from inside his own party. We talked about that when Richie Torres and a lot of other Democrats were turning against him. We might have finally gotten to the point where the people in charge of the party were done with Gary Gensler's tirade and done losing voters. We might also see the financial institutions in the background telling the politicians, hey, you're good to push this stuff forward. We're ready. We have got enough adoption on the back end. To me, regardless of which one it is, it's all lining up perfectly for this new asset class to dominate the next generation financial system. Guys, I'm extremely excited. This is all happening so much faster than I ever expected. And I believe I know which digital assets are going to poise to be benefiting most. Guys, thank you so much for coming. I hope you enjoyed this update. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe. It really does mean so much. And for now, Mickle out.